What is the self, really? We speak of it as if it's a fixed, unchanging entity. I'm this, we say, or I'm that. But is there truly a solid, immutable core that we can point to and say, this core? Are we more like a river, always changing, always flowing, never the same from one moment to the next? You see, the self that you think you are, this collection of memories, beliefs, and habits, is not a static thing. It's a process, a dance of energy and information. Just as a whirlpool in a river is not but a pattern in the flow of water, so too is yourself a pattern in the flow of existence. Well, what of others? The people in our lives, friends, family, lovers, colleagues, we often treat them as if they're permanent fixtures in the landscape of our existence. But are they really? Or are they too like leaves on a tree, here for a season and then? Now you might be thinking, oh, if nothing is permanent, if everyone comes and goes, why bother focusing on myself or anyone else? Ah, but that's the beautiful paradox of existence. It's precisely because everything is impermanent that focusing on yourself becomes so crucial. You see, in this ever-changing flow of life, you are the only constant in your experience. People will come into your life and they will leave. Circumstances will arise and they will pass away. But this flowing, changing, growing you will always be there, experiencing it all. So, let us explore what it truly means to focus on yourself in a world of impermanence. Let us dive deep into the ocean of your being and discover the treasures that lie within. The illusion of externalities. First, we must understand the great illusion that traps so many of us. The belief that our happiness, our worth, our very identity depends on external factors, particularly other people. We seek validation from others. We try to shape ourselves to fit their expectations. We tie our sense of self to our relationships. But, my friends, this is like trying to build a house on shifting sands. People come and go, their opinions change, their presence in our lives is never guaranteed. If we base our sense of self on these external factors, we are setting ourselves up for a lifetime of insecurity and disappointment. Imagine, for a moment, that you're an actor in a play. You've been given a role to perform, and you throw yourself into it with gusto. You interact with the other characters, you respond to the plot twists, you live the story. But all the while, beneath the costume and the makeup, you know that you are not the character, you are the actor playing the character. In the same way, we play many roles in life, friend, lover, parent, child, employee, boss. We interact with a cast of characters that changes over time. But beneath all these roles, these relationships, these interactions, there is the awareness that experiences it all. Focusing on yourself means remembering that you are the actor, not just the role. It means finding your center, your core, independent of the ever-changing drama of life. The art of self-discovery. So how do we focus on ourselves in a meaningful way? It begins with self-discovery. But let's be clear, this isn't about navel-gazing or self-absorption. It's about turning our attention inward with curiosity and openness, exploring the vast inner landscape of our being. You see, most of us go through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, following patterns we've inherited or acquired without much thought. We think we know ourselves, but do we really? Have we ever taken the time to really look, to really listen to the depths of our being? The self-discovery is like being an explorer in the uncharted territory of your own mind and heart. It's about asking yourself the big questions. What do I truly value? What brings me joy? What are my deepest fears and desires? What are the beliefs and assumptions that shape my perception of the world? But here's the trick. As you engage in this exploration, don't be too quick to label or categorize what you find. Don't say, this is who I am, and then cling to that identity. Remember, you are not a fixed entity, but a flowing process. The goal of self-discovery is not to define yourself once and for all, but to become more aware of the ever-changing currents of your being. Practice this. I aside time each day for self-reflection. It could be through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly and observing your thoughts and feelings. Approach this practice with a sense of curiosity and wonder, as if you're exploring an unknown land. What will you discover today about the vast, mysterious territory of your inner world? The power of self-acceptance. As we delve deeper into self-discovery, we come to a crucial aspect of focusing on ourselves. Self-acceptance. But what does it mean to truly accept ourselves? Many of us confuse self-acceptance with resignation or complacency. We think it means saying, "This is just how I am," and giving up on growth or change. But true self-acceptance is something far more powerful and liberating. To accept yourself fully means to embrace all aspects of your being, the light and the dark, the beautiful and the ugly, the strengths and the weaknesses. It means acknowledging your flaws and mistakes without harsh judgment, recognizing them as part of your human experience. You see, when we reject parts of ourselves, when we say, "This shouldn't be part of me," we create inner conflict. We waste enormous amounts of energy fighting against ourselves. But when we accept all aspects of our being, we free up that energy for growth and transformation. Paradoxically, it's only when we fully accept ourselves as we are that we become capable of genuine change. Because this acceptance comes from a place of love and understanding, not from a place of self-rejection or self-improvement. But next time you notice something about yourself that you don't like, a habit, a thought pattern, an emotional reaction, instead of immediately trying to change it or beat yourself up about it, try accepting it fully. Say to yourself, "This too is part of me, and it's okay." Feel the sense of relaxation and release that comes with this acceptance. The journey of self-reliance. Now, as we cultivate self-discovery and self-acceptance, we naturally come to another crucial aspect of focusing on ourselves, is self-reliance. But let's understand what true self-reliance means. It's not about isolating ourselves or refusing help from others. It's about developing an inner strength and stability that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and resilience. You see, when we overly rely on others for our sense of worth, for our happiness, for our decision-making, we become like a tree without roots. We're easily swayed by the winds of others' opinions and expectations, but when we cultivate self-reliance, we develop deep roots that anchor us, allowing us to stand firm even in the face of life storms. Self-reliance means trusting your own judgment, your own feelings, your own inner wisdom. It means being able to sit with uncertainty and discomfort without immediately seeking external validation or distraction. It means knowing that no matter what happens, no matter who comes or goes from your life, you have the inner resources to cope and thrive. Practices. The next time you face a decision or a challenge, before reaching out to others for advice or support, take some time to consult your own inner wisdom. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what do I truly think and feel about this? What does my deepest intuition tell me? Trust that you have the answers within you. The dance of solitude and connection. As we cultivate self-reliance, we might wonder, does focusing on ourselves mean we should withdraw from relationships altogether? After all, if people come and go, why invest in connections at all? But this, my friends, would be missing the point entirely. You see, focusing on yourself doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means developing a strong, stable core that allows you to engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a dancer. To dance well with a partner, you need to have a strong sense of your own balance, your own rhythm. If you're wobbling and unsure, always leaning on your partner for support, the dance becomes awkward and constrained. But when you're centered and stable in yourself, you can move with your partner in a beautiful, flowing harmony. In the same way, when we focus on ourselves, when we develop self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-reliance, we become capable of forming deeper, more authentic connections with others. We're not looking to others to complete us or fix us. We're coming together to share, to grow, to create something beautiful. And here's the wonderful paradox. When we're not desperately clinging to relationships, when we're okay with people coming and going, we actually become more attractive to others. There's a magnetism to someone who is self-assured, who has a rich inner life, who doesn't need others but chooses to connect out of love and joy rather than need. Cultivate a balance between solitude and connection in your life. Make time for both. Enjoy your own company, dive into your passions and interests, and then from this place of self-fullness, reach out and connect with others. Notice how different your interactions feel when you're coming from a place of wholeness rather than lack. The art of letting go. Now, as we navigate this dance of solitude and connection, we come to one of the most challenging aspects of focusing on ourselves in a world where people come and go. Letting go is perhaps one of the most difficult skills for us humans to master. We cling to people, to possessions, to ideas, to identities. We resist change. We fear loss. We try to hold on to moments as they slip through our fingers like sand. Here's the truth, my friends. Everything in life is temporary. Every relationship, every situation, every feeling, it all comes and goes. The nature of existence's flow is change, and our suffering comes not from this change itself, but from our resistance to it. Focusing on yourself means developing the ability to let go gracefully. It means recognizing that people will come into your life, they will play their part, and then they will leave, and that's okay. It's all part of the grand dance of existence. This doesn't mean we don't form deep connections or that we don't grieve when relationships end. Of course we do. We're human after all. But it means we hold these connections lightly, with open hands rather than clenched fists. We appreciate them fully while they're here, and we let them go with grace when it's time. Practice. Notice where you're holding on too tightly in your life. It could be to a relationship, a job, a belief, an identity. Ask yourself, can I loosen my grip a little? Can I appreciate this fully while it's here, knowing that one day it will be gone? Feel the sense of freedom and spaciousness that comes with this letting go. The power of self-investment. As we learn to let go, we free up enormous amounts of energy that we can now reinvest in ourselves. This brings us to another crucial aspect of focusing on ourselves. Self-investment means consciously and consistently putting time, energy, and resources into your own growth and development. It means prioritizing your physical health, your mental well-being, your emotional balance, your spiritual growth, your skills and talent. You see, many of us have been conditioned to believe that investing in ourselves is selfish. We feel guilty about taking time for self-care, for pursuing our passions, for saying no to others in order to say yes to ourselves. But this belief is not just wrong. It's harmful. There. You are the instrument through which you experience and interact with the world. If that instrument is out of tune, if it's neglected and worn down, how can you possibly create beautiful music in your life? How can you contribute positively to the world around you? Investing in yourself is not selfish. It's the most responsible thing you can do. Because when you're at your best, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're in the best position to contribute positively to the world around you. Practice it. Make a list of activities that truly nourish you, that make you feel alive, energized, fulfilled. It could be reading, exercising, creating art, spending time in nature, learning a new skill, whatever resonates with you. Now, commit to making time for these activities regularly. Treat this time as sacred, as non-negotiable as any important appointment. The journey of self-actualization, as we continue to invest in ourselves, we naturally embark on the journey of self-actualization. But what does it mean to actualize oneself? Many people think of self-actualization as reaching some or perfected state of being. But that's not it at all. Remember, you are not a static entity, but a flowing process. Self-actualization is not about reaching a destination. It's about fully embracing the journey of becoming. To actualize yourself means to continually unfold your potential, to express your unique gifts and talents, to become more and more of who you truly are. It's about peeling away the layers of conditioning, of false beliefs and imposed limitations, to reveal the radiant core of your being. But here's the beautiful thing. As you focus on actualizing yourself, you naturally begin to have a positive impact on the world around you, because when you're living authentically, when you're expressing your true nature, you inspire others to do the same. Your very being becomes a gift to the world. Ask yourself, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? What would I create, express, or pursue if I were free from all fear and limitation? Let your imagination run wild. Then choose one small step you can take today towards that vision. Remember, self-actualization happens one choice, one action at a time. The illusion of permanence. Now, as we journey towards self-actualization, let's return to a fundamental truth that underlies our entire experience. You see, much of our suffering in life comes from our attachment to the idea of permanence. We want things to stay the same. We want people to stay in our lives forever. We want to hold on to pleasant experiences and avoid unpleasant. But this desire for permanence is at odds with the very nature of existence. Everything in life is in constant flux. Your body is constantly changing, cells dying and being reborn. Your thoughts and feelings are in constant motion. The world around you is in perpetual transformation. Even mountains, which seem so solid and unchanging, are slowly being worn away by wind. Focusing on yourself means coming to terms with this impermanence. It means embracing the fluid, ever-changing nature of existence. It means recognizing that you too are not a fixed, permanent entity, but a flowing process, always becoming, always new. When we truly understand and accept this impermanence, it transforms our entire relationship with life. We stop clinging so desperately to people and things. We learn to appreciate each moment, each experience, each relationship for what it is, knowing that it will pass. We become more present, more alive, more free. Practices. Throughout your day, remind yourself of the impermanence of all things. When you're enjoying a pleasant experience, say to yourself, this too shall pass. When you're going through a difficult time, remind yourself this too shall. Feel how this awareness changes your experience of the moment. The power of presence. As we embrace impermanence, we naturally come to one of the most powerful aspects of focusing on ourselves, cultivating presence. Presence means being fully engaged in the here and now, rather than lost in thoughts about the past or future. It means bringing your whole being, your attention, your senses, your awareness, to this very moment. You see, when we're not present, we miss out on the richness of life. We might physically be in one place, but mentally we're somewhere else entirely. We're so busy thinking about what happened yesterday or worrying about what might happen tomorrow that we fail to notice the miracle that's unfolding right before our eyes. Focusing on yourself means developing the capacity to be present, to fully inhabit each moment of your life. Because the truth is, this moment, right here, right now, is all we ever really have. The past is gone, the future is not yet here. Life only ever happens in the now. And here's the wonderful thing. When we're fully present, we naturally let go of our attachments and aversions. We stop clinging to the past or anxiously anticipating the future. We simply are open, aware, alive. Practice several times throughout your day. Pause and take a deep breath. Bring your attention fully into the present moment. Notice the sensations in your body, the sounds around you, the thoughts passing through your mind. Don't judge or analyze. Simply observe. Feel the aliveness that comes with this presence, the dance of being and becoming. Now, as we cultivate presence and embrace impermanence, we come to a beautiful paradox at the heart of focusing on ourselves. You see, there's a tension in human existence between who we are in this moment and who we are becoming. We are complete, whole, perfect just as we are, and yet we are constantly growing, changing, evolving. Many of us get caught in the trap of always striving to become something else, something better. We think, when I achieve this goal, when I acquire this thing, when I become this kind of person, then I'll be happy. But this kind of thinking keeps us perpetually dissatisfied, always chasing after some future state of perfection that never arrives. But on the other hand, If we only focus on being, on accepting ourselves exactly as we are, we might miss out on the joy of growth, the thrill of stretching beyond our current limitations. The art of focusing on yourself lies in dancing between these two poles, fully accepting and embracing who you are in this moment while also remaining open to growth and change. It's about recognizing your inherent completeness while also honoring your potential for expansion. Take a moment to affirm both your being and your becoming. Say to yourself, I am complete and whole exactly as I am in this moment, and I am open to growth and change. Feel the sense of peace and excitement that comes from embracing both these truths. The myth of independence. As we explore this dance of being and becoming, let's address a common misconception about focusing on ourselves, the myth of independence. Many people think that focusing on yourself means becoming completely self-sufficient, not needing anyone or anything outside yourself. But this is not only impossible, it's also not desirable. You see, we are not separate, independent entities. We are interdependent beings, intimately connected with everything around us. The air you breathe, the food you eat, the ground you walk on, all of these connect you to the world. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your very sense of self. All of these have been shaped by your interactions with others and with your environment. Focusing on yourself doesn't mean trying to sever these connections or pretending they don't exist. It means becoming aware of them, understanding how they shape you, and learning to navigate them consciously. It's about developing what we might call conscious interdependence. This means recognizing your connections to others and to the world, appreciating them, nurturing them, but not being enslaved by them. It means being able to stand on your own 2 feet, while also reaching out to others to give and receive freely without losing yourself in the process. Take a moment to reflect on all the ways you're connected to the world around you. Think about the people who have influenced you, the experiences that have shaped you, the natural world that sustains you. Feel a sense of gratitude for these connections. Then ask yourself, how can I nurture these connections while still maintaining my own center? The power of self-love. Now, as we cultivate conscious interdependence, we come to perhaps the most crucial aspect of focusing on ourselves, self-love. But let's be clear about what we mean by self-love. It's not narcissism or self-indulgence. It's not about thinking you're better than others or deserving of special treatment. True self-love is much deeper and more profound than that. Self-love means treating yourself with the same kindness, compassion, understanding that you would offer to a dear friend. It means accepting all parts of yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, your light and your shadow. It means prioritizing your well-being and honoring your needs and desires. You see, many of us have been conditioned to believe that self-love is selfish, that we should always put others first. But this belief is not just wrong, it's harmful. Because when we don't love ourselves, when we constantly prioritize others at the expense of our own well-being, we eventually become depleted, resentful, and unable to truly give to others. Self-love is the foundation for all other forms of love. It's only when we truly love and accept ourselves that we can offer genuine love and acceptance to others. It's only when we honor our own needs that we can truly be there for others without resentment or expectation. Each day, do at least one thing that is an act of love towards yourself. It could be speaking to yourself kindly, taking care of your body, pursuing a passion, setting a healthy boundary. And as you do this, really feel the love you're offering to yourself. Let it fill you up, let it open. The art of self-trust. As we cultivate self-love, we naturally develop another crucial aspect of focusing on ourselves. Self-trust means having confidence in your own judgment, your own feelings, your own inner wisdom. It means being able to make decisions and take actions based on your own understanding, rather than always looking to others for guidance or approval. You see, many of us have learned to doubt ourselves. We've been conditioned to believe that others know better, that we can't trust our own perceptions or intuitions. And so we constantly seek external validation, always looking for someone else to tell us what to do, what to think, how to feel. But here's the truth. No one knows you better than you know yourself. No one else has lived your life, experienced your experience, felt your feelings. You have a unique perspective, a unique wisdom that comes from your particular journey through life. Focusing on yourself means learning to trust this inner wisdom. It means developing the courage to listen to your own voice, even when it goes against the crowd. It means being willing to make mistakes, to learn from them, and to trust yourself to navigate whatever challenges arise. Practice. The next time you need to make a decision, big or small, take a moment to tune into your inner wisdom. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself what feels right to me. What does my intuition tell me? Trust the answer that arises, even if it doesn't make logical sense at first. The journey of self-expression. Now, as we develop self-trust, we naturally come to another vital aspect of focusing on ourselves. Self-expression is about allowing your true self to shine through in all that you do. It's about giving voice to your unique perspective, your unique gifts, your unique way of being in the world. You see, each of us has something unique to offer the world. We each have our own particular blend of talents, experiences, insights, and passions. But too often we hide these unique qualities. We try to fit in, to conform to what we think others expect of us. We dim our light for fear of outshining others or drawing unwanted attention. But when we do this, we deprive the world of our gifts. We deprive ourselves of the joy and fulfillment that comes from authentic self-expression. Focusing on yourself means having the courage to express your true self, to let your light shine brightly. It means being willing to stand out, to be different, to go against the grain if that's what it takes to be true to yourself. And here's the beautiful thing. When you express your true self, you give others permission to do the same. Your authenticity becomes an invitation for others to be authentic too. Choose one area of your life where you've been holding back, where you haven't been fully expressing yourself. It could be in your work, your relationships, your creative pursuits. Now think of one small way you can express your true self more fully in this area. But commit to taking this step, no matter how scary it might feel. The power of self-reflection. As we journey towards authentic self-expression, we come to another crucial practice in focusing on ourselves: self-reflection. Self-reflection is the art of turning our attention inward, of examining our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and behaviors with curiosity and compassion. It's about developing the capacity to be both the observer and the observed, to step back and look at ourselves with a degree of objectivity. You see, without self-reflection, we can easily get caught up in automatic patterns of thinking and behaving. We react to situations based on old conditioning rather than responding from a place of awareness and choice. We may not even realize why we do what we do or feel what we feel. But when we cultivate the habit of self-reflection, we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves. We begin to see the patterns in our thoughts and behaviors. We become aware of our triggers, our fears, our desires. We start to understand the why behind our actions and reactions. This self-awareness is incredibly empowering, because when we understand ourselves better, we can make more conscious choices. We can respond to life's challenges with greater wisdom and clarity. We can align our actions more closely with our true values and aspirations. Practice aside sometime each day for self-reflection. It could be through journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly and observing your thoughts. Ask yourself questions like, am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? What patterns do I notice in my thoughts and behaviors? What can I learn from my experiences today? The dance of individuality and universally. Now, as we deepen our self-reflection, we come to a profound paradox at the heart of focusing on ourselves: the dance between individuality and universally. You see, the more deeply we explore our individual selves, the more we realize that we are not separate from the rest of existence. As we peel away the layers of conditioning and false identities, we discover that at our core, we are one with all that. It's like waves in the ocean. Each wave is unique in its form and movement, and yet each wave is also the ocean itself. In the same way, we are each unique expressions of the universal consciousness that underlies all of existence. Focusing on yourself means embracing both your individuality and your universality. It means celebrating your unique qualities, your particular way of expressing the universal, while also recognizing your fundamental oneness with all of life. This understanding transforms our relationship with ourselves and with the world. We no longer feel the need to compete or compare ourselves with others because we recognize that their success is our success, their joy is our joy. We no longer feel alone or isolated because we realize that we are intimately connected. Take a moment to contemplate your dual nature as both an individual and a universal being. Feel your uniqueness, your particular way of being in the world. Then expand your awareness to feel your connection with all of life. Experience yourself as both a wave and the entire ocean. The art of self-creation. As we dance between individuality and universally, we come to one of the most empowering aspects of focusing on ourselves, the art of self-creation. You see, many of us go through life as if we're passengers in a vehicle driven by circumstances, other people's expectations, or societal norms. We feel as if our personality, our habits, our very identity is fixed and unchanged. But the truth is, you are the artist of your own life. You have the power to shape your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, your very way of being in the world. You are constantly creating yourself through your choices, your actions, your responses to life's experience. Focusing on yourself means taking conscious control of this process of self-creation. It means recognizing that you have the power to reinvent yourself, to cultivate new habits, to develop new skills, to shift your perspective, to rewrite your story. This doesn't mean denying your past or pretending to be someone you're not. It means consciously choosing who you want to become based on your deepest values and aspirations. It means aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with this vision of your highest self. Take some time to envision the person you want to become. What qualities do you want to embody? What skills do you want to develop? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Now, choose one small action you can take today. Move towards this vision. Remember, self-creation happens one choice at a time. The power of self-forgiveness. Now, as we engage in the art of self-creation, we must also cultivate one of the most healing practices in focusing on ourselves, self-forgiveness. You see, as we journey through life, we all make mistakes. We all have moments where we fall short of our ideals, where we hurt others or ourselves, where we fail to live up to our own expectations. And too often, we carry the weight of these mistakes with us, beating ourselves up, holding on to guilt and shame. But this self-judgment doesn't serve us. It doesn't help us grow or change. In fact, it often keeps us stuck in old patterns, afraid to try again for fear of failing again. Self-forgiveness is about releasing this burden. It's about acknowledging our mistakes, learning from them, and letting them go. It's about treating ourselves with the same compassion and understanding that we would offer to a dear friend who had made a mistake. Focusing on yourself means developing the capacity for self-forgiveness. It means recognizing that making mistakes is part of being human, that it's through our mistakes that we learn and grow. It means giving yourself permission to be imperfect, to be a work in progress. Think of something you've been holding against yourself, a mistake you've made, or a shortcoming you've been judging yourself for. Now imagine you're talking to a dear friend who had done the same thing. What would you say to them? Can you offer yourself the same kindness and forgiveness? The journey of self-transcendence. As we cultivate self-forgiveness, we come to the final and perhaps most profound aspect of focusing on ourselves, self-transcendence. Now, this might sound paradoxical. How can focusing on ourselves lead to transcending the self? But this is the beautiful culmination of our journey. You see, as we dive deeper into self-awareness, as we peel away the layers of false identities and limiting beliefs, as we align more and more with our true nature, we begin to experience expansion of consciousness. We start to feel our connection to something larger than our individual selves. Self-transcendence doesn't mean losing your individuality or dissolving into nothingness. It means expanding your sense of self to include more of existence. It's like a drop of water recognizing that it's part of the ocean, or a ray of light recognizing that it's part of the sun. In this state of expanded awareness, you naturally begin to care about the well-being of all life. We realize that our individual flourishing is intimately connected with the flourishing of the whole. Our focus shifts from what can I get to what can I give, from how can I benefit myself to how can I contribute to the greater good. And here's a beautiful paradox. It's through this self-transcendence that we find our deepest fulfillment. By expanding beyond our small, separate sense of self, we tap into a wellspring of joy, love, and creativity that is our true. Take a few moments to expand your awareness beyond your individual self. Feel your connection to the air you're breathing, to the ground beneath you, to all the living beings around you. Experience yourself as part of the vast, interconnected web of life. From this expanded state, ask yourself, how can I be of service? How can my unique gifts contribute to the well-being of the whole? And so, my dear friends, we come full circle in our exploration of focusing on ourselves in a world where people come and go. We've journeyed from self-awareness to self-acceptance, from self-reliance to self-love, from self-expression to self-transcendence. Remember, focusing on yourself doesn't mean becoming self-centered or isolated. It means developing a strong, stable core from which you can engage with life more fully and authentically. It means cultivating the inner resources that allow you to navigate life's ever-changing landscape with grace and resilience. As you continue on this journey of self-focus, remember that it's not about reaching some final destination. There's no endpoint where you'll suddenly be fixed or complete. This is a lifelong journey of unfolding, of becoming more and more of who you truly are. And yes, people will come and go in your life. Relationships will form and dissolve. Circumstances will change. But through it all, you will remain. This ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-expanding you will. So invest in yourself. Nurture yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, express yourself, forgive yourself, transcend yourself. For in doing so, you not only enrich your own life, but you become a gift to the world around you. And remember, in this grand cosmic dance, you are both the dancer and the dance. You are the individual wave and the entire ocean. You are the unique expression and the universal essence. Embrace it all, my friends. Embrace the wonder and mystery of your own being. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. May your journey of self-focus be filled with discovery, growth, and joy. And may you always remember that within you lies the wisdom of the ages, the creativity of the universe, and the love that moves the stars. Go forth, focus on yourself, and in doing so, illuminate the world with your unique light. For you are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. And that, my friends, is the most wonderful thing of all.